Hannah Belcher has been to one of the country's most guarded nature reserves, Kapiti Island.
Kapiti Island. It's only 5 kilometres from the mainland and suburban life. Yet it's one of the most highly protected pieces of conservation land in New Zealand. This nature reserve is a reminder of how isolated New Zealand looked to European explorers like Joseph Banks, the naturalist on Captain Cook's first voyage to the South Pacific.
This morning I was awakened by the singing of the birds ashore. The numbers of them were certainly very great, who seemed to strain their throats from emulation. Their voices were certainly the most melodious wild music I have ever heard.
These tourists from Australia, Britain and Denmark are about to relive Mr. Banks's experience of 236 years ago. As they step ashore, they'll learn that while Kapiti Island may look like a remnant of primeval New Zealand, it's the result of a massive recovery effort over the last century.
So on Kapiti Island, that means every single thing is protected. So of course we've got thousands of rules.
The Kapiti Island Nature Reserve is New Zealand's most popular birdwatching destination. The majority of tourists come from Britain, Europe, Australia and the United States.
Shells, weka, take, all these things, enjoy them, take photos, leave them where you find them.
The Department of Conservation and Tourism operators are constantly finding a balance between access and protection.
What we've got is a system in place which allows us to encourage tourism as long as it's not to the detriment of conservation. The permits that require people to come onto places such as Kapiti Island limit their activities such that they won't disturb the natural regeneration or the birds in their natural way of life.
There are 70 native bird species on Kapiti Island, yet from the mid-1800s the bird song had died out. European settlers burnt off nearly 75% of the island's native forest. Introduced pests, rats, stoats and possums decimated the bird life. Tourism New Zealand will be targeting people at the British Birdwatching Fair in England in August. More than 1 million people in the UK belong to birding networks.
I don't think New Zealanders are aware of just how popular bird watching is with most of the world except New Zealanders. And we just understand that from the number of Brits and Americans and Europeans that come to us fully prepared to see birds on their birding list. And it's a real market, we know it's there. And there's real potential for that to be developed even more.
There is an old saying that tourism kills tourism, but with careful management of nature areas in New Zealand, the bird life will continue to flourish.